Secretary Granholm, the construction programs of the National Nuclear Security Administration and the cleanup programs at the former defense sites have been faced with large increases in cost due to a shortage of skilled workers and especially materials. You, like everybody else, have been caught up in the post-pandemic supply disruption. What we're seeing now, however, is the effects of the last several years seem to be spreading to the workforce, where there's indications that people are leaving faster than normal retirement suggests. And now, last year, as you know, we provided special authorities for the department to hire engineers and scientists. Can you fill us in on how serious this problem is and if you need additional help?
Yes, thank you for the question, and thank you for the ability to use that flexibility. 400 additional accepted service hiring positions allowed us to be much more flexible. We've been focusing on bringing aboard the additional 500 federal employees over the last 2 years that we've been able to hire, but unfortunately, double-digit attrition has eaten up those gains. And that is largely due, as I'm sure you can imagine, to incredible competition from the private sector and salaries from the private sector, remote work that the private sector is able to offer that we are not able to, but also because the employees feel, many employees have reported that they feel overworked because of the loss of fellow employees. So to answer your question, yes, support for what we have requested in our budget, which is the full federal salaries and expenses appropriation request of $564 million in FY25 would be most welcome because the appropriations for NNSA as measured by enacted appropriations have really, the national security program has really doubled in size. We've not been able to keep up in terms of hiring, and the STEM workers are obviously very special and very well educated. We've got to do everything we can to keep the greatest minds in the federal government, and so the ability to hire and through, as evidence through support for that appropriation would be much appreciated.
Do you need additional support in that exemption from government rules?
You're good right now, right?
Yeah, we appreciate what you've done to date, and if we get a budget appropriated, we also have made changes to our hiring practices to lean forward more, so we're hopeful we can help solve this shortage.
And Director Ruby, many of your production facilities date from 1940s and 1950s, and you're still relying on, for example, for the production of depleted uranium, World War II era rolling mill. What, and more importantly, when will you bring modern production capabilities and methods into your complex to save time and money?
Yeah, thank you, Senator Reed. Our production facilities are, in fact, very old, and we're making great strides in replacing them. But we have a lot of work to do. And I want to talk about, in particular, modernizing our capabilities and not just our infrastructure. I'm sure we'll get lots of questions on infrastructure, but this issue of what our production capabilities are is really important because any change we make in a manufacturing process changes the microstructure of materials. And we need to make sure that that's okay through our science programs. But we have some great examples. In fact, we have a special polymer part that we produced using additive manufacturing for the W80-4 that's making a huge difference in that program. We have a current pilot project for new manufacturing technologies for radiation cases, which is a collaboration between our design and production agencies. We've asked our advisory committee to look at, it's called the Advisory Committee for Nuclear Security, to study materials and manufacturing and look for other places that we can make changes in our processes and our materials. And of course, as we build new facilities, we're looking to put modern equipment in those facilities. We have a lot of work to do. It is, in fact, true that we have very old equipment and very old facilities, but we're very focused on changing that.
I can't resist. If you watched the movie Oppenheimer, did you recognize facilities that were still working?
Yes.
Thank you. Senator Wicker, please.
Madam